Happy Doctor Who Day, if that's what we're calling it, which seems to be what the BBC wants us to do. So I'm willing to go there. Happy Doctor Who Day. What a lovely time. Just watched the first few minutes of the Colourised Daleks, and it looked flipping amazing. We're going to do that tomorrow night with the kids. Really hope they take to it, because that could be a brave new world for those of us.
What do you think of the children?
Not used to the sedate pace of 60s television. Web Planet next. That gets my vote. Lol. Right. Okay. So on Doctor Who Day, we watched Mark of the Rani episode 2. Rarely have I seen such a workmanlike Doctor Who story. And I'm going to lay the blame of that one on Pip and Jane, which is a bit harsh, perhaps. There are many aspects of this that just fall short. Nothing is so abysmal to cause great offence, but very few things are good enough to really raise the standard. I would say that Kate O'Mara is one of the things that is good enough. I really think that she has a great energy and presence, and I think that the idea of the Rani is an interesting one. At this stage, there's just a sense that she's distinct enough, as in this like megalomaniac, not megalomaniac, that's the wrong word, isn't it? This ruthless, amoral scientist type thing. That could really work. And honestly, in terms of character, she really shows the Master up here, because the Master's just bonkers with very little to back it up, quite frankly. I really wish he wasn't in the story. I don't understand the logic of putting both of them in the story together. If you've got this interesting new, character. Yeah. Can't imagine that Kate O'Mara, this well-established, famous actress, could carry the baddie side of the story. But there we go. Talking about people carrying the story, I really think that Colin Baker is wanting to make his Doctor. I really think that I get a sense that he's trying to invest a lot into the role. But he isn't Tom Baker. And therefore, if he's got nothing to work with, or he's got little to work with, then I think it's hard for him. And this script is poor. The one thing I'm going to say in Pip and Jane's defence is the fact that there seem to be lots of moments of peril that sort of kept me engaged. And Robert Louis Stevenson, George Stevenson comes across as a great character. I really enjoy him. I think that's a lovely performance. And the Lord Ravenscroft, or whatever his name, he's been in everything going, hasn't he? I'm sure he must have done Midsummer Murders, Poirot, and everything in between. But
my favourite programme.
Yeah. But just the pacing of this is odd. No, the pacing's fine. Although I just feel a little. I mean, the bit where the Doctor, maybe it's the direction then. Maybe it's just that there's no real plot. Really, is there? There's an idea, and then ramifications of that idea, moments of peril, and then odd resolutions. I would also say it's not helped by the fact that Perry's poorly written. I'm not going to lay any blame on Nicola Bryant here, because, I think she is somebody who cares about the programme. I think there have been moments where you've seen her shine. Kate Van Zani, it'd be very easy in that story for her to be wishy-washy and nothing, but she adds to that story quite a lot, and I think that's an indication that she's got something to give. But she's written so poorly here. I don't want a companion who's continually moaning about being in danger. The whole point of a companion is that they're an ordinary person who suddenly realises they've got great depths of brilliance. And sadly, Perry's just like continually, let's not go in this room. Let's run away a wee bit.
She's a total whinger.
And it's so frustrating. Because, as Libby says, she is a total whinger. And that's not what I want from a companion. Especially now Colin's starting to warm up a bit. And that little nod at the end, what do you do in there? Well, we argue. I don't want you to argue. What were you going to say, Lib?
Colin is quite warm.
Yeah.
Sweet. I think when you say that Colin Baker's a rubbish Doctor, or that the perceived wisdom is that, I think actually in this instance, he's got a rubbish companion.
Okay.
And I don't think this Master's up to much. Like, he was really sort of trying to get on board with the Rani's wicked plans.
Yeah.
But he was just like, oh, we can take over the world. But he was literally bringing nothing to this meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like,
Yeah.
you know, the Rani
Yeah.
can take over the world and do whatever she wants, so she's quite capable enough. But he's like, oh, together we'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
No, we don't need you. Please leave.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that Colin's given nothing by these stories. Colin, Vengeance of Varos, loads to work with, and that's where his Doctor works. But he's not given anything. And like I say, he's not Tom Baker. You know, he's not Patrick Troughton. And, you know, in terms of great acting performances of the Doctor, well, Troughton stands out thus far as being perhaps the finest actor to play the role. And Baker stands out thus far as being just the most bonkers human to play the role. And Colin doesn't have either of those chops, really. And this is not no disrespect to Colin Baker. He's one of my doctors. I love him. But, yeah, so he's bringing what he can. It just feels a shame, doesn't it, that this story has got so much potential, lovely location work, you know, a nice celebrity historical type thing. And George Stevenson, what a great little character. I love that. But for saying that Pip and Jane do perfunctory dialogue with then a thesaurus moment every now and then, there's no sparkle to anything here. There's nothing that really makes it zing. So there we go, a pity. After Vengeance on Varos, you know, and you can see where this story could have been great. You know, Robert Holmes could write anything and make it great. But there's lots of writers who would have taken these bag of ingredients and come out with something absolutely bonza. And the trees are rubbish in this. My God, I love trees. Anyway, that'll do. I don't care, all right? Yes, this is nowhere near the greatest Doctor Who story of all time. You know, it's closer
It
to...
wasn't that bad, though. You didn't mention the location was beautiful.
No, it's
And a lot of it was outside.
No.
It was really nice. And we got to see inside a different TARDIS.
That's always
which was
fun.
nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I will take OK Doctor Who over virtually any other television programme in the world. So, no,
That much is clear, darling.
I'm not slagging it off at all. But after the sort of like false dawn of Vengeance on Varos, it's a pity that this didn't quite aspire to the same sort of level. But that's okay. Happy Doctor Who Day again. Tomorrow is Friday. What are we doing tomorrow? Oh, we're watching the Daleks in colour. Brilliant. Looking forward to that. All right. Cheerio, people. Bye-bye.